What surprised you about sex after having it for the first time? That my core isn't as strong as I thought it was. I call that the sex muscles because you're using an entire new group of muscles. The girl's mother trying to barge in. The door was blocked by a dresser and her gaze beamed into the room like the Eye of Sauron. All the weird noises. Sorry, I don't know why I sound like a beached whale giving birth when I come. It's just my thing, I guess. How hard it was to keep it up when you have to run upstairs and find a condom and then try to put it on really fast. How soon were her parents coming home? It was my place and we were alone. I just wanted to hurry up and do it. It was so warm in there. My first time touching a D, I remember being so surprised that it was warm and forever after wondering what the hell else I expected. I thought I'd feel him come inside me but I didn't. Really tried focusing every time to see if I'd feel anything at all. But no. Oh yeah, and I can't finish with just penetration. That part was annoying. Fun but annoying. Most women, like 70%, need clitoral stimulation to reach orgasm. You are not an outlier. It is quite funny how our culture always fails to mention this, and it leads to a lot of women not coming and faking their orgasms to make men happy because they feel like they should be coming with penetration. Also, they might never come while with a partner because of this, as they never learn how to make her come, which contributes to the orgasm gap between men and women. I remember there being a book, which I think was quite the bestseller, titled She Comes First, with the author essentially suggesting that, with the majority of women, it makes sense for the partner to stimulate her with the hands and, even more, with the tongue. For exactly that reason. A fake there's the claim, which I'm actually not sure about regarding its accuracy, that a lot of women have a lot easier time orgasming again after they already did. So a prolonged foreplay, in quotation marks, because the idea of only penetration being real sex is dumb, makes a lot of sense in that regard, too. Holy shit. If I'm going to do more of this, I need to get in shape. Oh yeah. Cramps in your legs. No stamina. Short breath. That was a ride. Literally, but yeah. Given all the joking about premature ejaculation, I was surprised with how long I lasted. This is pretty much the only one I'm on the same page with. I hear all these jokes about lasting like 30 seconds and totally went into it expecting that sort of outcome. I was surprised that, although sex felt better, masturbation gets the climax much faster. That's the most relieving thing here. How my life was exactly the same. I still cringe when I think back to 16-year-old me. Girl I had a crush on lost her virginity to a friend at a party. I wasn't there, and knowing that I had a crush on her, everyone was careful to keep that information away from me. When I found out, I took it personally, noticed a bunch of not so nice stuff about her personality, and blamed it, to her face, on how she'd changed after losing her virginity. I lost mine a few years later. Nothing changed for me at all. I looked back and realized nothing had changed for her either. All that happened was my own jealousy forced my rose-tinted glasses away, and my crush was just a fickle infatuation that had little to do with who she was as a person. To this day, nearly 15 years later, it's still something I think about and feel embarrassed over, usually late at night when I'm trying to sleep. I wish I could go back and tell my pre-high school self how little everything mattered. I thought my world was ending at 16 and here I'm at 26 not even remembering those people's names. How difficult it was to climax in the presence of another person. I'd had almost a decade of practice only doing it when alone. Postscript, I got better, and I'm grateful to everyone who helped. Exact opposite here. I lasted like a minute my first time and was really embarrassed. It took lots of practice to last a long time. Queefs. She wasn't a virgin. I was. I thought she was farting. I found that out when it happened again a week later, and she said, "You do know I'm not farting, right?" I pretended I did and googled it afterwards. I was like, damn, that is actually a lot of work. It made me understand Charles Barkley's quote when talking about NBA teams playing 3 nights in a row. I wouldn't even want to have sex 3 nights in a row. For me, I think it was how natural it was. Like animal instincts kick in and your pelvis starts moving in whole new ways. Aginas are like super warm inside. 98. 6F. Needing my asthma inhaler. That it wasn't some life-changing event. I didn't feel any different afterwards, except kinda proud for a day or two. I remember when one of my good friends in high school lost their virginity. Everybody in our friend group was praising him, and he was acting all grown up and shit. I wanted to tell them I had got some too, but it was one of their sisters. I thought that when he came, it would come shooting out like a fire hose or something. His pace quickened. Then his whole body tensed up. I braced myself for impact, but nothing like that happened. How shallow people can be. It was with one of my closest friends at the time and they never spoke to me again. My first time was somewhat late in life. I was 24. She was aware I was a virgin, and I guess I'd have to describe it as her guiding me. My surprise was how great it was, and how big of an ego boost it was. I'd watched porn, but didn't expect it to be like that, so I didn't really have any misconceptions. We just clicked really well and everything went smoothly. I got a boost in confidence, and it felt like a relief in a way. For me, I had waited to be with the right woman. I had opportunities with women in the past, but knew they wouldn't work long term. Not religious or anything. Just knew what I wanted. She and I are married now. Almost 10 years. And I wouldn't change a thing. Foreplay was awesome. Everything was exciting, even if the dude was bad at it. Being touched in any way was so stimulating, because it never happened. The actual act though, I didn't feel anything. It like I didn't have anything in there. It was disappointing. That I was not pregnant as my public school sex ed had implied I would be. I was worried after my first time. 2 months drifted by without even the slightest sign of my period. Then remembered I'm a dude. Condoms taste like S. I was surprised someone wanted to sleep with me. For real. As a teenager I thought I was going to be some kind of 40-year-old virgin, because I was so awkward around girls. But I've somehow gotten a few different girls to sleep with me over the years, and I'm now married with 3 kids. So I guess some chick are into sex with an awkward geek. That apparently I have a condition known as delayed ejaculation or R-ejaculation. Simply put, it is very difficult for me to have an orgasm during sex. I just kind of keep going at it for a long time. You would think that would be a good thing. Women complain about men not lasting long enough, etc. Instead, my first partner, an older and more experienced girl, literally stormed out of my dorm room in a fit of rage because I clearly wasn't interested in her and definitely not a virgin, both of which I was until then. How easy it is for someone not to care afterwards. How people would throw away their lives for that. I still don't know why they would. But like, why cheat on your spouse, lose your license, and have to change careers? Or just spend all your time occupied with obtaining it? When I hear about professionals engaging in some kind of sexual misconduct, or a partner cheating on their spouse, it makes me think there is usually something more at play. The sex is just part of it, but there are always several steps that come before it to make that decision. Maybe it's arrogance or a massive ego, maybe insecurity, maybe a need for power and control, or a need to throw it all away. Some people are easily manipulated and taken advantage of, and others are just naturally predatory and are the ones taking advantage. Who knows? But the sex itself always just seems like a highlight, not the source of the problem, you know? She came vigorously and loudly. Needless to say, I had little to do with it, but that was a physical reaction I had never witnessed and couldn't explain at the moment. Men are completely different people when they finish. Post nut clarity, I always blow before making any major life decisions. Expensive purchases, buying a new car, come first. Then you'll know if you really need it. And that's exactly why you're not allowed to enter any car dealerships anymore. Cranking it out while staring the salesman in the eye can be a definite power move though. How badly girls want to have it too. Well, I waited 19 years to get nailed in the back of some dude's car next to his piles of dirty laundry. It felt like nothing. Absolutely no pleasure for me. But I did discover that I'm very allergic to latex. That was a big surprise. Latex allergies is the most horrific thing in the world. It's like a blowtorch to your most important region. Skin condoms are a blessing. It didn't hurt like I'd expected. I was a little sore. But it wasn't the "oh god I'm dying" that's so often portrayed in movies. Also, how easy and relaxed it was. I have generalized anxiety, so pretty much everything is stressful to some degree. But giving up my virginity was very comfortable. My partner and I both have anxiety, and what really helped us was being able to communicate about it while we were figuring each other out. Also being able to laugh with the other person during it. My partner can do a really good impression of the Pingus meme, and he once did while we are getting up to things, and we had to stop because I was laughing too much. The attraction / to the other person / that it left behind. The girl who I lost my virginity to really wanted to have sex because she was a year older, super horny, and wanted to F a younger guy, and I happened to be her cup of timid, innocent water. And my god did she ever F the living s out of me when we were together, but she wasn't in it for anything more or less. She knew the name of the game, and I didn't, because she was my first. And it genuinely hurt to know that she didn't care to be with me the way I wanted to be with her. I knew what flings and FWB were, but contrary to how well aware of them I was, I still felt more, and I just wanted to be around her. And in retrospect, there wasn't much about her to stick around for. We had little in common. We were so different as people. It was just sex brain working its magic. There could be nothing there, but sex will make you think there's something there, because that's what sex does. Sex is magic to virgins and a circuit breaker to veterans. Where the V-hole is, it was a lot lower down than I expected. I can remember foreplay with my ex. This was years ago, when I was a teen, the night before, and I was like rubbing her groin kind of area, where a dude's D would be with my hands, thinking it would be turning her on. I'd watched porn before but never thought about it. Eventually she showed me, and I was quite embarrassed. Didn't matter though, had sex, and lost my virginity.